Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Has our faith, our traditions, and even our way of life being reduced to political tools to checkmate rivals? Is our Astha being ridiculed to score brownie points? Over the last 1 week now, Sanatan has been slandered as discriminatory and equated to an infectious disease. Infectious disease like HIV, leprosy, dengue, many words have been used for it. But today, this attack has been extended even to the whole of Hinduism. Remember, Mahatma Gandhi's last words were, "Hey Ram." Unfortunately, today Hinduism is being maligned as a menace. This latest attack came from DMK Member of Parliament A. Raja. But as pressure mounted on the India alliance to either condemn or condone the statement, then came the big shocker, and this time it was DMK's Mantri from Tamil Nadu, Pon Mudi, who said that the very genesis of the India alliance was to finish off Sanatan. Listen it to believe it.
India is the reason for the global disease in the name of caste, dividing the people on the caste line, dividing the people on the economic line by using the caste. Caste cannot be used only for social evil. It depends upon the economic evil also. Those who are living Indians in other countries also propagating caste in the name of Hindu religion. So Hindu religion is a biggest menace, not only to India, now it is a menace to the entire world.
இந்த இந்தியா என்பது ஒரு சனாதன கொள்கைக்கு எதிர்ப்பாக உருவாக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிற கூட்டணி தான் இந்தியா. எங்களுக்குள் கருத்து வேறுபாடுகள் இருக்கலாம், ஆனால் இந்த சனாதனத்தை எதிர்க்க வேண்டும் என்பதிலே யாருக்கும் எந்த வேறுபட்ட கருத்தும் இல்லை. இதில் இருப்பவர்கள் எல்லாம் சமத்துவத்தை உருவாக்க வேண்டும், மத இன சிறுபான்மை சமுதாயத்தை காப்பாற்ற வேண்டும், ஆண் பெண் சமத்துவத்தை காப்பாற்ற வேண்டும். இந்த சமூக சிந்தனையோடு இந்த இயக்கத்தை உருவாக்க வேண்டும் என்பதுதான் இன்று 26 கட்சிகள் உருவாக்கி இருக்கிற இந்த இந்தியா கூட்டணியினுடைய நோக்கம். அவை வந்திருக்கிற நீங்கள் எல்லாம், நாம் என்னதான் சமூகத்திலே நாம் எவ்வளவு செஞ்சாலும் அரசியல்ல நாம வெற்றி பெற்று அங்க உட்கார்ந்தாதான் இதெல்லாம் செய்ய முடியும்.
These twin statements sent the opposition leaders scampering for cover. While some flashed their secular credentials, others said they don't need a certificate from the BJP. The Saffron Party, however, has said that the true anti-Hindu agenda of the India alliance is now out. Listen in to this fierce face-off.
भाजपा से हमें 2-3 सर्टिफिकेट नहीं चाहिए, एक राष्ट्रवाद पर, एक सनातन धर्म पर और एक हमारे आजादी के आंदोलन के कंट्रीब्यूशन पर, क्योंकि इस सब पे उनका स्कोर नीलबटा सन्नाटा है. कांग्रेस पार्टी सर्वधर्म समभाव में यकीन करती है और हमें किसी से इस सर्टिफिकेट की आवश्यकता नहीं है, और खास तौर से उन ढोंगियों से जो इस तरह की बातें करते हैं.
The only reason for this rebranded UPA alliance called I.N.D.I.A alliance is to basically practice the corrupt appeasement politics that they have done for 65 years. They are now talking openly, brazenly, about eradicating a whole group of people who practice a particular faith or who believe in something.
सनातन धर्म का और ये जो संगठन है अपोजिशन का, इससे कोई ताल्लुक नहीं. ना वो इसलिए बना है कि आपके ये सनातन धर्म या किसी धर्म के मुतालिक वो कुछ बात करे. ये जिन लोगों के हाथ में इस वक्त गवर्नमेंट है, मुल्क है, उनसे इसको हटाकर बहरहाल अच्छे लोगों के हाथ में मुल्क आ जाए.
मैं बराबर कहते रहा हूँ कि सनातन धर्म शाश्वत है, निरंतर है, चिरंतन है और चरे वेती कि ये जो लोग हैं, चाहे वो डी राजा हो, चाहे एक मिनिस्टर जो आज जो उन्होंने टिप्पणी किया उनके शिक्षा मंत्री डीएमके के, ये सारे लोग मूड हैं. I.N.D.I.A का जो उन्होंने ठगबंधन बनाया है, वो गाली दिलाने के लिए हिंदुओं को, सनातन धर्मावलंबियों को.
So the legitimate question we are asking on the NewsHour tonight, is this Sanatan slander only for Satta? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining me on the debate, Gaurav Bhatia, national spokesperson of the BJP, Pandit Satish Sharma, author and fellow at the Royal Asiatic Society. Also joining me on the show, Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, Dr. Naval Kishore Yadav, national spokesperson of the RJD. But my first question goes to Lokesh Jindal, leader of the Congress party. And I want to ask you, Mr. Lokesh Jindal, simple question. The DMK, the Dravidian politics, makes them say whatever they say, maybe their belief, they also say they are atheists, up to them. But where does the Congress party stand on this when a minister in the DMK government says that we have differences on seat sharing, on ideologies, but if there is one thing that we are all together on, it is that we are all against Sanatan Dharma. And Mr. A. Raja, former minister in the UPA government, comes out and says not just Sanatan Dharma, Hinduism, the way of life that was called by the Supreme Court, is actually a menace not just in India but across the world. I want to ask you, Lokesh Jindal, why is the Congress party finding it so difficult in its Muhabbat ki dukaan to condemn this hate speech against 80% of the population of this country?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Navika, the basic ideology of the Congress emanates from the thoughts and ideas of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who was a social reformer, but he was never against the Hindu religion. He stood to safeguard the Hindu religion and its ethos, but simultaneously, he pitched for social reforms within the Hindu society. Similarly, Congress believes that, yes, there is a need for social reforms, ending all forms of discriminations, whether it is on the basis of caste, whether it is on the basis of gender or any form. It must be eradicated over a period of time. But nowhere in Congress history has Congress been against any religion, be it Islam, be it Christianity, be it Hindu religion. We are practicing Hindus. And when we adhere ourselves to Congress ideology, Sarva Dharma Sambhav forms the basic ethical code of conduct in the political sphere as well. I don't know on what basis do you claim that Congress and its conduct has been anti-Hindu? No. Right from all Congress leadership, from top to bottom, they have always respected all tenets of Hindu ideology. In fact, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru himself during his time period, he had initiated a massive project of translating all the ancient works into English, a Deccan dictionary, lexicon dictionary, which work is getting completed.
The question is being asked only because you haven't condemned the DMK. Simple.
Navika ma'am, Yogi Adityanath ji made a comment about Lord Hanuman. Did BJP condemn Lord Yogi Adityanath? It was BJP's leader who made comments upon Goddess Durga. Did BJP come out with open condemnation against the BJP leader? No. You look at the track record of BJP. BJP on what basis does it claim to be champions of Hindus when it has used Hindu religion for its own convenience?
Well, Gaurav Bhatia, ball is in your coast. Please respond to Ram Mohan Roy. Lokesh Jindal.
I will respond to him, but before I respond, like a proud Indian, proud Hindu, I have a few questions in mind which are in the mind of every Indian today, especially Hindus. First, Navika, can we say to the ex-religion that it is a menace? And I think no, we can't. Because if you will say that, then there will be slogan shouting, Gustakhe Rasool ki ek hi saza, sartan se juda, sartan se juda. Matloob Ahmad in Rajasthan will be not arrested for more than 90 days. Second, can you say to any religion that ex-religion should be eradicated? Khatam kar do religion ko. What is the meaning of secularism then? These pseudo-seculars not stepping out, why? And third, can we say ex-religion is equivalent to malaria, dengue, HIV? leprosy. You can only say it for Sanatan Dharma, Hinduism. The reason is we are tolerant. And I want to make it very clear. The sinister design of the Congress party that has been laid down during the Mumbai Ghamandiya Baitak is there to be seen by all. Sonia Gandhi doesn't come out to condemn Priyank Kharge. She doesn't come out to say a word against Uday Stalin. And Kharge ji does the same. The reason is very simple. Navika, nobody can deny, and I say this with utmost respect, Sonia Gandhi was a person of foreign origin, a Christian. This country, the Sanatan Dharma, the Hindu tolerant community decided to accept her and accept her the way she was. It can't happen anywhere in the world, and today that lady decides to be quiet when Hindus are getting ill-treated by the Ghamandiya group. Third, I want to also raise the issue that does Sanatan Dharma need them? And the answer is a categorical no. The Sanatan Dharma, the Hindus, the majority of the country doesn't need the Ghamandiya, the Congress, the Samajwadi Party, the DMK, AAP, TMC. But this Ghamandiya group, do they need the Hindus? Do they need the Sanatan Dharma? Yes, they do. And the reason is simple. For electoral purposes, it is required. And second, Navika, if you do not understand the ethos, the traditions, the rich culture, the tolerance of the Sanatan Dharma, you have no right to be in politics in India. Last but not the least, I want to ask this also. A. Raja from the left, he went a step further and he said, malaria, dengue क्यों कहते हो, HIV और leprosy बोलो. Navika, how disheartening it is that political parties who have taken oath under the Constitution, they have said that they owe allegiance to the Constitution, today are violating the spirit of the Constitution with impunity. And nobody utters a word.
Absolutely.
That is the question that I need to first ask.
Mr. Lokesh Jindal, please respond. And my question is limited to the fact, Rahul Gandhi promised to bring in winds of change and politics of change, Mohabbat ki dukaan, after his Bharat Jodo Yatra. I want to just ask you, why is Rahul Gandhi silent? And he spoke about how he had read the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads. Can he not condemn those who are calling names to a religion? It can be any religion. Nobody has the right to condemn or slander any religion. Why do they do it with impunity? And why is Mr. Rahul Gandhi quiet? Why is Ms. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra quiet? Why? Why, Lokesh Jindal?
Navika, first of all, FIRs have been filed, and we already have a legal provision in Section 8 of the Representation of People's Act. Once any individual finds himself convicted under Section 153A, at that point of time, the person stands disqualified for contesting elections. So my dear friend is a lawyer. I would ask him to expedite the judicial process, set the law in motion.
Okay, as if you have never commented on anything on which FIRs have been filed, then it goes out of your domain. Vivek Srivastava, I want to know from you, once FIRs are filed against people, do the political parties in the opposition stop raising questions about those people or those issues? I'm just asking you, or is it a free-for-all that Hindus can be abused, Hinduism can be abused, Sanatan Dharma can be abused, because ultimately that is the majority community which has been appropriated by another political party, तो हम तो इनको गाली देंगे. Is that a simple formula that the India Alliance wants to follow?
First of all, this statement is not the official statement of the India Alliance. There was no prastav, there was no proposal, nothing was passed. It was a statement made by one gentleman from a particular party. That is the first part. So let's not confuse it with I.N.D.I.A. However, I would like to add that you have to understand the perspective and the background of the person who spoke. I mean, Hindus, you are speaking of it as if it is one block. It is not one block. It is about 10 or 15% of the so-called Savarns who had been exploiting the Dalits and the backwards for centuries. And when we talk of the Dravidian politics, where it was Periyar earlier, followed by Karunanidhi, followed by Stalin, and the entire politics of Tamil Nadu is the politics of the Mool Nivasi. So you have to understand the pain in their heart. when they make statements like this. And he has clarified that he doesn't mean the annihilation or the violence against the 80-85% Hindus of this nation. He is not justifying it. He is saying, I'm talking only of social justice. In South India, Sanatan Dharma means a religion dominated by a few upper castes, Brahminical supremacy, a Hindu supremacy, which is what the BJP and RSS are trying to have in this nation. I mean, for 70 years, there were various governments in this country. You had the Congress, you had BP Singh, you had Chandrasekhar, you had I.K. Gujral, so many, even Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Everybody participated. The Hindus participated. And today, they are trying to show the Congress, the communists, the leftists, the DMK, they are all anti-Hindu, they are all anti-religion. No. Religion should not be the criteria for selecting a government. Religion should not be the criteria. The criteria should be development.
Why is this issue being raised by the DMK several times? And are you saying a DMK Minister for Higher Education is an irresponsible person who on the dais gets up and says that the India alliance may have many differences, but on this one issue we are all united? Are you saying he's an irresponsible person? And are you saying that just because he has said it, you don't need to pay attention, you don't need to come out and condemn a statement of this kind, you don't need to qualify it? Well, if it had been a BJP leader saying this about some other religion, all of you would have been out on the streets with flags and opposing this kind of a statement. But today, you choose to be silent. Vivek Srivastava, the hypocrisy is pretty evident there.
Silent. We are not silent. And very clearly, 2004 is not going to be Hindu versus Muslim like Gaurav Bhatia and Narendra Modi and the RSS.
You are not
bonds.
silent.
It is going to
Pandit
be
Satish Sharma. Pandit Satish Sharma ji, I just want to ask you, did I understand these statements wrongly? Or would everyone who heard these statements by these enlightened gentlemen also believe that their words were actually in slander of a particular religion, in this case Sanatan Dharma, and also making it universally to all Hindus and Hinduism itself?
Navika ji, namaskar, Jai Shri Ram to you. My goodness, I've been listening to the two young gentlemen who spoke before me, and I'm delighted that this conversation has occurred now, because you used the word hypocrisy, and I think the sum total of everything we've heard for the last 5 minutes could be summarized in the one word, hypocrisy. And it's so disappointing to hear some of the remarks that these young men are making. Within my lifetime, I recall the 1966 massacre of the Hindu saints ordered by I.N.D.I.A Gandhi. You know, that was a direct action of Congress against members of a Sanatani tradition. It was unbelievable. It was a genocide by the definition of the word genocide. So it's completely inappropriate to say that Congress has never attacked Hindus on the basis of their religion. But, you know, there are deeper issues which are now going to come out to the fore. Firstly, the gentleman who made this remark saying that we have to eradicate Hindus and Hinduism and Sanatan Dharma, I'm actually grateful to him. At last, we have somebody on that side of the fence who I could say is honest. He's a man who is speaking with integrity. This is his belief system. He has articulated it, and it gives all of us the opportunity to assess it and to deal with it within the democratic parameters of the Constitution. Mentioning the Constitution, I think it's beholden upon the leadership of this India conglomerate, whoever that leadership is, to hold the members to account. Either you are a secular party within a constitutionally secular democracy, or you're not. And secularity is something that is hard fought in the West. We had theocracies, we had religious dictatorships, and those have always resulted in a denial of human rights. In Bharat, we have the oldest panchayat system, which is the democracy of the wise people being selected by the majority to guide the community. And this is something that's invaluable. What this gentleman has suggested is ignore all of that. On the basis of my theocratic dictates, we should eradicate the indigenous religious traditions of Bharat. And this is an extraordinary statement to be made. But I am, as I say, I appreciate him because this is the first time we've probably had the declaration, the overt declaration, whereas in the past it has clearly been covert. And I really would ask the young gentlemen who are so loud and vocal in trying to defend what is the indefensible, that ultimately Dharma teaches that integrity is something that each of us carries. There is karma attached to this. If you lie about what has been said, if you try and tiptoe and dance around the magnitude and the horror of the statement that has just been said, then it will affect yourselves individually, and karma doesn't leave anybody. These are exactly the same sort of nonsensical, hate-inspired statements that were made against the Jewish people by the Nazis. And what we are seeing now is the appearance of a very vocal, toxic minority. And I think the idea that a minority is automatically something very nice, soft and cuddly and to be protected and always the eternal victim is also going to be brought under the magnifying glass. This statement could only have come from a very toxic minority fueled with hatred and supported by religious doctrine. This is something that I think the state and indeed the legislature needs to deal with. Unless it's dealt with, I see no reason why any Bharatiya or any member of the Sanatan Dharma traditions should be paying any taxation to any state which says we are going to target your very existence. This needs to be dealt with robustly by the judiciary, and discipline certainly needs to be applied to these gentlemen, one, who are hypocritical, and two, who are so blatantly hate-inspired. It's a real tragedy, but there is a silver lining to this as well.
Well said, Pandit Satish Sharma. And when you give that point of view, sitting where you are in the Royal Asiatic Society in UK, it brings a different perspective because you know, very, very loosely spoken, it's always been the opposition's case that the Hindus have been spewing hate in this country. Who's spewing hate in this case is evident to anybody who cares to listen to these statements. But Naval Kishore ji, you know, you won't have anything to object to, बिकॉज आपके नेता तो खुद ही कहते हैं जो लोग तिलक लगाते हैं वो इस देश को गुलाम बनाते हैं। तो आपको तो डीएमके वाले नेताओं के जो वर्ड्स हैं वो तो बहुत अच्छे लग रहे होंगे, क्योंकि इंडिया अलायंस ने अगर तय ही कर लिया है कि हिंदुओं के खिलाफ करना है तो ये मोहब्बत वगैरह छोड़ दीजिए ना। जैसे पंडित शर्मा जी कह रहे हैं, आप लोग खुलकर सामने आ जाइए कि हटाना है, मिटाना है हिंदुओं को।
नाविका जी, ये सब कहने के लिए तो आप हैं ही और आपके साथ भाजपा भी है। सही बात ये है कि किसी भी धर्म में अगर कोई कुरीति, आपको ये नहीं मालूम है क्या कि हिंदू समाज में, सनातन समाज में एक बहुसंख्यक हिस्सा है जो कि बर्डन का शिकार रहा है सदियों से, और इसको कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रिकॉग्निशन भी है। जिस तरह का इनइक्वालिटी, जिस तरह का डिफरेंसेस प्रिवेलेंट है इस सोसाइटी में, वो तो सब लोग जानते हैं। जो लोग उस एक्सप्लॉयटेशन को फेस किए हैं सदियों से, अगर वो उसको रिफॉर्म करने की बात करें, कोई भी रिफॉर्म करने की बात कर रहा है, वो एंटी रिलीजन कैसे हो सकता है? देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स व्हिच हैव चेंज्ड इन द रिलीजियस प्रैक्टिसेस ऑफ सनातन, एंड दिस व्हाटएवर इज बीइंग सेड इज सेड इन ए कॉन्टेक्स्ट। क्या एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट इन इंडिया बी आर अम्बेडकर साहब ने नहीं लिखा था क्या? क्या इस तरह का कबीर पंथ जो है वो भारतीय इतिहास का पार्ट नहीं है क्या? क्या वो हिंदू नहीं थे क्या? अगर धर्म के विषय में, उनके कुरीतियों के विषय में और अगर उजागर करना या उस पर अपना बात रखना, और इस बात को रखने का जो तरीका है एक संदर्भ में, विशेष संदर्भ में, वो क्या समझेंगे जो लोग नाथूराम गोडसे के समर्थक हैं।
नवल किशोर जी, ये कहाँ लिखा है? आप ये सुनिए, ये कहना कहाँ जरूरी है कि इंडिया, ऑल आवर फ्रेंड्स प्रेजेंट हियर हैव सेड दिस इंडिया अलायंस हैज बीन मेड टू अपोज सनातना। यहां तो कोई बैड प्रैक्टिसेस की बात नहीं हो रही है, अपोज सनातना। और ऊपर से ए राजा जी ने कहा है तो वो तो एक स्टेप आगे है। वो तो कह रहे हैं कि हिंदुइज्म इज अ मेनेस नॉट ओनली इन इंडिया बट अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड। So there is absolutely no conversation of the malpractices. There is only hate that is being spewed against the entire religion and the entire followership of that religion. Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, क्या ये जानकर भी अनजान है और आधे एक्चुअली एक्टिंग इनोसेंट?
तो सुन लीजिए, इतना जल्दी क्यों भागते हैं? क्या डेमोनाइज करना ही आपका इंटेंट है? आप सुन लीजिए जवाब। यही भारतीय जनता पार्टी है ना जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मंडल कमीशन जब लागू होता है तो कमंडल लेकर ये बाहर निकलते हैं। धर्म की राजनीति कौन करता है? पूरे देश में धार्मिक हिंसा कौन फैलाता है? कौन हेट स्पीच करता है? अभी भी राजस्थान के जो है वो क्या बोला कि भाई हाथ काट लें, आंख निकाल लेंगे, ये सब कौन भाषा है? आपने देखा होगा कि पूरे देश में धार्मिक हिंसा और तनाव के आधार पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी को फायदा होता है, इसलिए वो दलितों को, पिछड़ों को या कम्युनलिज्म के आधार पे अपना सत्ता हासिल किया। उसको लग रहा है कि भारत में जो इंडिया अलायंस है उसके लिए चुनौती है, उसके लिए चुनौती है। इसीलिए आपने देखा नहीं, गौरव भाटिया ने 10 बार
ओके नवल किशोर जी, calm down, calm down, calm down, Naval Kishore ji. Please, Gaurav Bhatia is trying to respond to you. Just a minute, Gaurav Bhatia.
डाउन है और आप पूरे लोगों को विलेन बनाकर छोड़ेंगे।
Yes, one by one. First of all, it is so heartening to hear Pandit Satish Sharma ji. And to Satish ji, I would say you have a lovely background and you were very erudite when you expressed yourself. But as an Indian, Navika, when we live in India, I live with the belief that I will not be targeted because of my religion. Rather, I believe I'll be protected by the bond of nationality by citizens of the country irrespective of their religion. I just want to, please Navika, ask him to be quiet. It is very disturbing. You know, this is not the way to debate. He reduces it to a cacophony.
Naval Kishore ji, please calm down. You had your time. You had your time. Please listen to the other argument as well, and I'll come back to you for a rebut. Just hold on. Gaurav Bhatia, complete your point.
Navika, to my young friend Lokesh, I would like to tell him, he said that the trial and the investigation should be expedited, forgetting that it is happening in Tamil Nadu. And they are the government there. And he is asking the BJP to do it. Second, what is expected out of Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Kharge, I'll tell you. First, the Ghamandia snaps its ties with the DMK. One, then we would think that they are sincere. Second, please, Navika, why do you spoil your show by having such people who can't even listen to others? They're so intolerant.
His fader is down. Complete your point.
As I told you, yes, first what we expect, every citizen expects. If the Ghamandia doesn't endorse the views of A. Raja or Priyank Kharge as well as, Udaynidhi, they should snap ties with these political parties. Second, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Kharge ji should make a statement condemning what has been said so far, and they should say that they have faith in the constitution. They will not tolerate this venom being spewed against the Hindus and the Sanatan. Third, Priyank Kharge should be sacked forthwith from the Congress party. This is what we expect. To the left spokesperson was saying that the Hindu is not one bloc. Exactly. But this is what we want. Hindus should also be united when it comes to victimization, hurting their feelings. We should be one bloc, and the Hindus of the country are watching. Like you want Muslims to be Muslims, not Ahmadiyya, Shia, Sunnis and Bohras. The Hindus will be united too. Last but not the least, to the RJD spokesperson, the Education Minister, Chandrasekhar of Bihar. What did he say? Burn the Ramcharitmanas because the Ramcharitmanas teaches hatred. And the Education Minister of Tamil Nadu is saying that, we Ghamandia have to eradicate Sanatan. Imagine the education ministers are doing this. What would the lesser mortals in the party do?
Well, respond Vivek Srivastava. Everybody is now looking. The design is all out. Everybody is looking at Hindus as a vote bank. You want the lower caste vote bank, so you will divide the Hindus on that ground. You will say eradicate Sanatan Dharma. On the other side, the BJP will say, Hindus are one bloc. I'm just asking one question to you, Mr. Vivek Srivastava. Are people of India just a few votes for all political parties? Is this not about respecting religions? Is this not about maintaining secularism that you beat your chest with?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree with you. And being a very senior journalist, I think you have hit the nail. And that is what the agenda of development of the nation should be, what you have said right now. However, Navika, what is sad is that even today there are deprived classes in our societies, the Mool Nivasis, the Adivasis, the Dalits, the backwards, and we feel and we are accusing
and eradication of Hindus is the manner in which you will uplift them. Eradication of Hindus, eradication of Sanatan Dharma is your formula for uplifting them. Pandit Satish Sharma,
eradication of Hindus,
Pandit Satish Sharma, eradication of Hindus will lead to uplifting of the lower castes as they wanted, or are they pushing the caste theory deeper and deeper, because without caste vote banks do not survive?
Navika ji, I've just noted that these gentlemen are very passionate, but there is very little substance behind what they're saying. It's such a disappointment to have an opportunity to talk about issues of substance, and they choose to speak about everything except the one particular issue that we've spoken about and that we should be speaking about. It's disappointing. I'd expect better from obviously educated and reasonably experienced people. The issue that they have just raised, though, this nonsense about caste, I would point out that these gentlemen are not the appointed representatives of the Dalit community, nor the SC and ST communities. I work extensively with these communities. I just returned from 6 weeks in California, where we were challenging this nonsensical caste extremist rhetoric that's always been touted. And we were standing shoulder to shoulder with members of the Dalit, the SC and ST communities who were saying, this is not right. These people have no authority to speak on our behalf. And what they have done is they have leveraged whatever unfortunate history existed for their own political advantage. And I think this is going to become particularly clear. The other thing I'd like to say is that for a long period of time, these activists who have used and inflamed and inflated what is an unfortunate history, which I'm not denying, they are going to be denied their authority to take advantage of this for political gain in the very near future. I know of Dalit origin communities who are saying, we're going to go through everything now. We're looking at annihilation of caste. We're going to scrutinize it. We're actually going to read these texts that these people have been holding above as though they're sacred and they've come down from the holy mountain, and going through and establishing what's good for us ourselves as Dalit communities. This little industry that has sprung up, which can so easily and effectively weaponize compassion, which can so easily and effectively weaponize outrage, they have been doing it so long that it's actually becoming exhausting for everybody. And so we're all having a look at it. We cannot allow them to try and establish the nonsensical judicial position of ancestral guilt, of group guilt, that if a father is a murderer, his son should pay the price. Ancestral guilt is not a valid legal position, even when it's presented through passionate engagement.
Very well argued. Very well argued, Pandit Satish Sharma. And I want to ask Mr. Lokesh Jindal. Mr. Lokesh Jindal, simply, if you had so much respect for caste, and especially the caste that you feel have been discriminated against, why would you time and again insult the President of India? She's an Adivasi lady. You won't turn up at her dinners. You will not vote for her. You will put up an upper caste individual against her. You know, lip service also has some boundaries, because the hypocrisy of the justification that you give really comes out in leaps and bounds when your own behavior is seen related to the same caste that you say are discriminated against.
Navika, before I answer your question, I would like to expose the hypocrisy of the previous speaker, Mr. Satish Sharma. Sir, you spoke about sadhus getting killed. Do you know what the entire incident was that on 7th of November 1966? It was against the cow slaughter that there was a Jan Sangh MP called Swami Rameshwaranand, that he surrounded the entire Parliament House and he wanted to aggressively enter into it. At that point of time, the Home Minister was Gulzari Lal Nanda. He was also the patron of Bharatiya Sadhu Samaj, and he was quite sympathetic to the cause of the sadhus. The police gave a warning, but when the entire agitation became violent, the police fired and 8 sadhus were killed. Subsequently, Indira Gandhi had sacked Gulzari Lal Nanda. So first get your facts straight, sir. You gave a big lecture on knowledge, karma, and all these things, but get your facts right when you're talking about history. history about right facts and right interpretation. And when you're talking about caste, let me tell you, in California, wait, let me complete now. In West, where you live,
limited time. I have just 60 seconds on the show.
Theoretical texts. Madam, please let me just give me some time. You have read some theoretical texts about the institution of caste, but we have lived in a society which practices it, right from marriage, right from interdining, right from social customs, social exchange. Everywhere we have experienced it. It's different from reading.
Well, thanks to you, the President of India also experienced it, Lokesh Jindal, and that's where I rest my case. I'm totally out of time on this one. Gaurav Bhatia, what is the paper that you're showing? Is there a message? Is there a message for our viewers?
Yeah, there is a message from Rahul Gandhi where he says that Hindu लड़के लड़कियां छेड़ने मंदिर में जाते हैं और खड़गे जी कहते हैं कि अगर मोदी जी आ गए तो भारत में सनातन का राज हो जाएगा. They hate and detest Hindus and Sanatan Dharma so much. So this is the message. Let's unify the entire country over the issues of development, good leadership that Modi ji is providing.
You talk about unification, I'm with you. Rahul Gandhi talks about Mohabbat ki dukaan, I'm with him as well. This country really wants love and Mohabbat and everybody coming together. But are our political parties really doing that? That's the big test that's coming up for each one of these political parties in the elections of 2024. What will happen? The report card will be given by the public of this country. Thank you very much to all my esteemed panelists for joining me on debate number 1.